In just a year, we have turned our ambition into action, growing our user base by nearly 1 million and boosting our revenues up by 12%. But how did we do it? And what does that mean for you? In this all hands meeting, we'll be diving deep into our journey from 7 to 7.9 million in revenue, unveiling the features that got us there, and sharing the game-changing strategies that could shape your 2024. From AI-powered tools that redefine engagement to insights that could drive your success, we are unpacking a year of innovation and setting the stage for a milestone year ahead. Welcome back to another episode of ContactOut Inside Out, and let's dive in.
How's everyone going? Can you believe it's the last all hands of the year already? It's gone by pretty quick. Agenda this week, Christmas shutdown period, 2023 review, squad updates, shoutouts, and a fun little game that I put at the very end because in case we run out of time, we can do it another time. Christmas shutdown period starts Monday 25th and Tuesday 2nd. I thought it would be good to do a bit of a recap of the year that was. So looking at the money side of things, last year, the revenue was 7 million. This year so far, it's 7.9 million. So that's a growth of about 12%. You can always go to our sales metrics page and you'll be able to see those numbers for yourself. Users. So our users have grown a lot this year. Not all of them, obviously, real users. There's been an increase in some spam users, but on the whole, users have increased from 1.53 to 2.37 million users. Obviously, again, not all of them are active users, but it's still good to see that our users are increasing. Features built. So I had some GIFs saved from last year when I was doing some QA. This is one of them, the before and after. So the first one was 1st of Jan 2023, 1st or 2nd of Jan 2023. Whilst it may not look like much has changed, a couple subtle things, Bullhorn integration, HubSpot integration, just changing out some of the preferences. And then I guess some of the other things that we've built this year, AI personalizer, ContactOut anywhere. You can see the kind of features as they're going. Email campaigns from extension. So now people can directly send emails from the Chrome extension. AI-powered LinkedIn commenter. We have a lot of AI-powered tools. So you can see one of them here. AI-powered connection requests. So here we allow users to easily send a personalized message with a connection request. AI personalizer in Gmail, helping our customers with sending out emails. Prompt library, one place to see all the different types of custom prompts that you may have added. AI LinkedIn post generator. So that takes basically popular posts and then rephrases it. And then you can copy that and then make some more tweaks and send that off. Search portal. So this is what it looked like at the start of 2023. And this is what it looks like a couple of days ago. A whole bunch of features, AI write personalized message, company info modal on the people's bold search term on search results so that it's clearer, the link between what people are searching and why the results are showing. Seniority filter, funding filter, department filter, improvements to location filter, company search redesign, mobile responsiveness, and even more list page redesign, search API docs published to api.contactout.com, Google One Tap, numerous homepage changes, email campaign, edit, archive, delete. As you can see, there's lots. Even though it feels like on a day-to-day basis, we may not be like, we're always just focused on the immediate thing. Throughout the year, actually ends up being quite a lot of things and even more. So, and I guess how we got there. So the amount of time spent in 2023 so far is about 80,000 hours. That's equivalent to 9 years. So that when I looked at that, my mind was blown. SWOT tickets handled, 1,783. So amazing job by Joan's team. Jira cards completed, bug cards, 562, story cards, 995. Slack messages sent in 2023, 468,000. Clearly, we're doing a lot to stay connected and communicating, which is awesome to see. And just to reiterate on last all hands, so 2024 goals, the Q is to get to 20 mil ARR called the Surge. And the 3 questions to ask every week: what task am I working on? How does it connect to ContactOut hitting our 20 mil goal? And how does this task get me closer to my life goals? And with that, we move on to the squad and department updates. A general summary of what the team Athena has been doing. They've done a variety of fixes to support the way that LinkedIn has changed their page. I'll talk more about that in the shoutouts. And the LinkedIn post scheduler is coming along really nicely, and I think we're pretty close. So that'll be exciting to see.
We released the single recipient campaigns on the extension. This was released last Friday. And due to this release, we've seen one of the most massive spikes in usage, both in terms of campaigns being created as well as campaigns being started. The metrics are a little tiny on screen here, but previously, if I give you a highlight, the spike that we last saw was across like halfway through the year, where the highest number of campaigns created in a single day was around 100 campaigns. When I was looking at the metrics yesterday, the highest number this week or day before yesterday was around 650 campaigns created in the same day. And the same goes for, if you look at the weekly active users, this was around some 2,500 campaigns created in the same week. Massive spike, hoping that we grow this feature further and the users find it useful. Apart from this, we've also released the ability to edit active campaigns, like Albert already mentioned at the start. So now users will be able to go and change existing campaigns or add new steps to those existing campaigns. The only thing to note here is the emails will be sent out to all recipients who have not replied to a previous email. So that once that is taken into consideration, this will go out. In development, we currently have the variable library. We are doing a round of bug fixes on this week. This has almost completed testing and should be out pretty soon as well. Apart from that, we also have the ability to have attachments in campaign emails. This also has completed testing and should be out soon. Next up, for closing the year, the last task that we're handling is the recipients tab on the campaigns page, which is just a list of all recipients that you've added to any campaigns and what is the next step or the last step that was scheduled for that specific recipe. That's all from Compass. Over to Vikings. Thank you.
Just quickly, guys, if everyone wants to just give a round of applause emoji to Compass Squad for finally we're starting to see the signs of like product market fit. Compass Squad has had to put up with me being on everyone's back about why isn't our usage numbers growing. So they finally are growing, and I think it's fantastic. So like, awesome work, Compass Squad.
Yeah, huge congratulations to Compass Squad. Awesome job, team. Moving on to Vikings. So I was comparing the credit usage on the search portal at the start of the year versus end of the year. So the first screenshot is from the first all hands that we had this year. And the credit usage was around 12,000 credits consumed in a week. And now if you look at the latest chart, then as of December, it's peaked to 45,000 credits consumed. This is abnormally high for like a particular week, so I'm still investigating. But overall, if you look at the average, it's around 30,000 credits consumed per week. So there's an improvement from 10,000 to 30,000 credits consumed. I think it's primarily because of three factors. The first is the overall redesign that we had on the search portal. So now the UI looks much cleaner and much more advanced. So kudos to the design team for that. The second thing is the trust of the sales team. So earlier during the second quarter, when we were going through sales recordings, we figured that the sales team, they're not demoing the search portal to their users. So we chased them and then we had to build some trust. And now if you look at the latest recordings, the trust has improved and all of them are demoing the search portal. And the third thing is all the improvements that Albert had previously mentioned. As he said, we don't see immediate impact of these small improvements, but when compounded, it does produce a great result. So kudos to everyone who's been working on the search portal and also reporting bugs. Coming to what we've been working on this week, one is improving the speed on search portal. So as I mentioned in the last all hands, the search portal loading time had peaked to around 8 seconds. And on investigation, we figured that for every search request, we are doing 200 plus MySQL queries, which is a lot. Now we have managed to cut down the loading speed by 3 to 4 seconds. However, we are still working on instantly loading the first page. So we're doing a few improvements. One is trying to render static JSON response. We tried that, but it did not improve the loading speed as much as we thought it would. Then we noticed that as you navigate to the search portal from another page of the dashboard, it is still very slow. At the core, it is an inertia problem. To solve, we will make inertia render as little HTML as possible so that we load the page ASAP. We'll be able to demonstrate more improvements on this next week. Another thing we're working on is optimizing mobile site onboarding. So an observation was that activation rate from the directory pages on desktop is 82%, whereas the activation rate from mobile is only 54%. So for this, we're working on some UI fixes and optimizing the screen that users get when they land on search portal from directory pages for the first time. Similarly, we are also optimizing the profile reveal rate. Yeah, the visitor sign up to first reveal is currently at 2%, and we are targeting to bump this up to 10%. We noticed that there are a lot of tooltips that are hindering user experience, so we are removing all of them. And also, we are only going to show the specific profile that user has searched for with a glowing animation on the view email button, and also attaching an onboarding video. So this is the first version of the sample design that we thought we'll be doing, but we figured there's a lot of CTAs here, so we are removing the first two banners that say find more profiles by searching Bill Gates. And now we'll only be having the particular profile user has searched for with the glowing button on view email, and the onboarding video will be attached at the bottom of the screen. And yeah, we are also polishing the search portal, finding and fixing bugs as we go. Yep, that's it from Viking.
Thanks, Tanya. I think Mark had a really good idea about this portal, which means loading the filters first and loading the results separately. I think for the first page of the search portal where there's no search filters inputted, we can do similar to our work on the mobile onboarding. We could just have instructions. If there's no search filters, it's just here's a video on how to use the search portal. And maybe under the video, we can have like, okay, here are 5 example searches. But here are like 6 example searches of like, engineers in California, Bill Gates' email that showcase every different type of search. So maybe it's like search by the thin URL, search by title and query and other filters. And we can even write up like a document with more detailed instructions on how to the quirks of every filter. So here's how you can maximize use results for each of these filters, etc. And yeah, that way it'll load a lot faster as well because we're not loading any results. We're just loading a static page.
Yep. Okay, cool. Copy on that. We'll implement this. Thanks, Rob.
Hi. For our team, we are continue working on the improve data quality task, like check and fix work email issues, integrate PIPL emails to our API service, optimize the catch-all domains. We worked on with the campus team, released one feature, campaigns on the extension, and the campaign list page is under developing. We maintain the SMTP check service and did some enrichments. That's all for us. Thank you.
All right. So moving on to content. So for content side, yeah, I was out most of the week away for vacation. But in this short time, what I was trying to do, I was working on was filming the all hands video, the last all hands that we did. So I did that and we posted it. So in the short time, I was thinking what would be interesting to test out. So one of it was featuring the face of the content creator to help create more authentic connection. Would that help to increase impression? For context, most of the videos for the all hands is featuring my face first. I'm posting it on Rob's page. So I want to kind of see whether it does that affect if I post it on my page versus post it on Rob's page. So for example, this post that features Rob face is his best performing LinkedIn post to date with 161 reactions, 49 comments, and 13 reposts. Though this is a URL link to the YouTube video, it does show that featuring the content creator's face does help improve. So what we want to learn is, does featuring that face helps and matters? Because when we look at the CEO for retention.com, Adam, and as well as G's, the CEO of Lemlist, they mainly feature their faces, not so much on their colleagues. So that'd be interesting to see. So we just did the test. And I did the test with the same post time, same content, same video, same added on engagement, boost the post, but it's just Rob and my followers are different. Based on Rob's post, after 30 minutes, he got 6 reaction. 1 comment, 1 repost. For me is 2 reaction, so it's 3x slower. Initial result shows that it doesn't matter as much as I thought, but we do know that most of the video is featuring Rob, so it's better to test on 100% video of Rob featuring, which I know Rob has already, so it'll be interesting to test that out as well. Yeah. test a similar content video on that as well. So next steps we're going to follow is sending out the email newsletter featuring this video for the last all hands to promote the video, as well as Rock's posts, as well as continue featuring more high quality content for our guides. As well as one of the ideas that we have is to reach out to 10 B2B SaaS companies for their product demos and sales calls, just to learn more about how they run their cadences and document those. That's for content.
Sweet. Yeah, let's prioritize the sales calls. I think that will just make like a massive impact on just all sales training out there. Because instead of, hey, here's like how you do spin selling or challenger sale, whatever, it's like, hey, here's the actual call recordings from like the best companies in the world.
100%. Thanks, Rob. All right, next to Sushi.
Cool. On the SEO side, the hypothesis which we are currently testing on is if we launch high volume keyword names, we're going to get good traffic from it. It is moving good. I would say we have launched 120K pages so far. Around 50K of them are indexed and K pages are already indexed. 50K pages were added to sitemaps and 7K pages are already indexed. There has been a good spike of pages been indexed, been noticed in the last few weeks. So our goal is to launch 1 million to the popular pages. And for that, what we have done is found those popular LinkedIn profiles itself from Ahrefs, based on volume. And we found around 8.8 billion pages. Approximately 7 million LinkedIn profiles would be usable from those. We did our first run and we already found 500,000 pages which are ready to launch. Thank you so much, Craig, for that. We also found a few more profiles from other directories, Twitter, and we have 55K profiles from there. 35K are already launched. For the status of the sign-up flow, so this is the updated sign-up flow from the directory pages for mobile users. They will be directly redirecting after the sign-up to the search portal page and won't be asked to add and filter, which was the initial flow. So they will directly see the person's name and they can take the email information for those. There will be a new sign-up flow, as Tanya mentioned, which is currently in design, in which we are removing the need to sign up to do the first reveal. That is, we are introducing less friction, or we are removing the existing friction which we had, which was sign up if the user asks or if the user wants email address. We are also educating and adding a product demo of the search portal before the sign up itself. So we are giving more clarity to the users who are new to our product. And coming to the status of the interlinking of the pages, the interlinking again is done so that crawlers are able to identify the pages and are able to understand how we have created an architecture of all the millions of directory pages which we have. So we have done some contextual interlinking in which consider an actor is also connected to an actor rather than an actor connected to a famous LinkedIn profile like Bill Gates or Elon Musk, which does not make sense. So we have done contextual interlinking as well. That's already done. And now we are also adding interlinks to all the 120K famous people, which we have launched from the 12 million old pages, which we have already launched. And many of them are indexed already. And we are also adding 20 links per directory pages, which is currently there are 44 links to the new famous people pages. If we add 20 links per page and we are giving links from all the 12 million pages, 44 links is gonna 10x. So it's gonna be more than 500 links per famous people page, which we're gonna receive. So that is definitely going to give more pathways to this famous people pages. And also to improve the content on these pages, we have also added the FAQ section. The FAQ section are scraped directly from Google, so they are very much relevant for the people. So the Google crawlers are also going to appreciate the content. That's our hope, that they are going to appreciate the content which we have added for the profile, and that makes a much more contextually relevant profile for the crawlers to get a summary of what the page is about. We'll be also adding the avatar image for these new profiles. Currently, there is an issue which causes an size reduction of the image. Greg will be working on this later. We'll be also adding an alternate name section for the profiles, which we have scraped from the LinkedIn database, because not all famous people have alternate names. Like Elon Musk won't have 10 different Elon Musk, which people are searching for. But consider a name like Sushmita Jadhav. There are many Sushmita Jadhavs available, which people want to know about. So that's why we'll be adding that particular section in the pages which are scraped from LinkedIn URLs. Coming to what is happening on the indexing rate. So as mentioned, there is a gradual growth in the indexing of the new page noticed. Initially, the indexing was just 100, 500 pages. Now we have around 6.7K pages which are indexed from the 50K pages which we have added on sitemap. We'll be adding the rest of the pages on the sitemaps as well. About the traffic from these new pages, we have seen a sudden bump in traffic from these new pages. Again, this is an minimal traffic, won't look as evident compared to our overall traffic which we are getting on our domain, which has also 3x from the start of the year. Yeah, that's it for SEO.
Okay, growth. Yeah, today I'm going to show you a few of the experiments we're running, so that you guys can understand more about the thought process behind why we do stuff, and you might find it interesting to go through this, and I'll ask you some questions to keep you curious. So the first question I'm asking is, right now, I think when I first started ContactOut, we always require people to register with their work email. When we change it to Google sign-up spiked, but we learned something recently that I think is pretty interesting. So we ran this cadence. Jerwin's team ran it, this cadence that I wrote. And we first sent it to just registration emails of people, just basically saying, hey, you've been using ContactOut, your trial's expiring. Reply rate 1.1%, meeting rate 0 out of 569 people. How many people, what do you think the difference would be if we first looked up their work email using ContactOut and emailed them at their work email instead of their personal email? The answer is 3.9% reply rate, 2.4% meeting rate, 17 meetings out of 709 people contacted. So it's like this huge learning that basically makes me think we should really only, for sales, for growth, we should only be emailing people at their work email. There is the other question of should we go back to work email registration, but I'll leave that for another time. But this was the same audience, same sales emails, all the same copy, just sent to their work email. That's the first learning. We want to get to 20 million ARR, so we want to get paid. Here's where I'll ask you a few questions just to get your curiosity flowing. How many people do you think, how many free users who have never paid us anything use 5 credits or more per week? Roughly how many? Answer is 17,000 currently. And when I looked into this list, sales had only emailed 13% of these people. I also learned that this is very difficult, so I understand why they only emailed that many, but also the emails that they sent them were at the registration email. Most of them were like personal emails. So the response rate was similar to what you saw before in that test. But if out of these 17,000, if we close 1% of those, that'd be 170 deals per month, new deals per month. And just by way of comparison, Sean, who's like amazing salesperson, has closed a total of about 500 sales in however many years he's been here, many years. So that's a lot of sales. That's a lot of deals that we have. So the first thing I tried to run was running just some emails to the people who are solo users out of 300 sample size. I sent to there were 110 of them were solo heavy users. This was Jerwin's team actually went through this one by one. And about 33% of these heavy users are the only one at their company who uses ContactOut. We emailed them, got a 9% response rate. So this thing obviously works. We need to scale this up. I need help to do this. But I thought, what is the opportunity for companies with many heavy users? Because that's usually where we get most of our big sales. Next question is paid multiple user accounts. So accounts that have more than one person who uses ContactOut. On average, how many credits do you think they use per year? Let's say they're paying us like anywhere from 5 to 10K a year. How many credits do you think that they actually use per year?
1,000.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to put it in the chat? I don't know. Do you want to make this a game? Joseph says 30K, higher or lower, 50 kiloliters, 3K per person. All right. Yeah. I'm sure there's some hard data on this, but usually it's between 1,000, 10,000. Depends on the type of account. Executive recruiters, they might only send 500. They might only do 500 a year, but they get like 200K for one placement. It's not like more credits means that they're more valuable, right? But they are more valuable to us. And the contract's like between 1 and 10K for these users. So it started to make me think, like, how many of these free accounts who have never paid us $1 use between 1,000 and 10,000 credits? That I actually do not have the number on, but I looked into a list of just 54 companies of these active users, that 17,000 list. And the answer is about 78% of the ones that I looked at. So out of 54, it was like 41 companies who have used that many and have never paid us. So for example, here's 41, starting with Explore Ltd. Again, this is just a random list. Like I just pulled a random list from these 17,000, and there's like companies in here who have done 50K, 19, 20K, 15, 13K. So I think one of the biggest things we have ahead of us, the jobs that we have, is to get paid for the value that we provide. If people will pay us $1,000 or $10,000 to do 1,000 credits, then surely if they're doing 10,000, they should pay us at least 1,000, maybe 10,000, 20, 40, $100,000. So this list is huge. Out of these 54, just starting here. So all of these companies have at least 3 users who have used a credit in the last 30 days. So it's very simple. How do you get them to pay is just email all of them and say, hey, these 3 people, these 10 people, these 20 people are about to lose access. So it's an old play. But just getting, these are the kind of experiments that we're running. So that's one of the things I need to do next week. Kane's written, all the process is good, but this is why I need Jerwin's team and some of the other people on our team. Speaking of link building team this year, another 12 this week, another 12 links. So yeah, the positive responses and links to the definitive recruitment guide have been a little harder to get than the email finder page. We also don't have any top 100 rankings yet. It's been like about 2 months so far. Okay, there you go, Sushi. Thank you. Of course, Sushi has the answer. But yeah, I think we should keep running this. Links are always good. We've also been doing cold email outreach through Luke. We're sending about 700 messages a day. I'm watching this closely because last time usually we run these experiments for a long time. What I was looking at is basically from the last 2 weeks where we restarted this, sending cold emails to recruiters and salespeople. We wanted to see if we're getting more qualified leads. So red means like relatively few in the year of that week did we get of qualified leads. So far, there hasn't been much impact. Again, the main takeaway here is just like, I think the experiments that we run next year, I want to keep them a lot sharper, meaning run it for a month, watch the data, be really like interrogate the data. In the past years, we actually would have gotten more qualified leads in these last couple of weeks. So I haven't seen the impact of that yet. So same thing, we can do it for a couple more weeks, another month, and see. So in summary, just sales should only email users at work email. This is like basically my big takeaway from this week. That sales, we should only be emailing people for marketing sales at their work email. Even if they registered with a Gmail, we should find their work email. We have it. We have 42% of them. We have a verified email for every user who signs up at ContactOut with their name and company. And yeah, we should be getting more revenue from those. Sorry, let me look at the number again, Sushi. 4,596 companies who have used more than 1,000 credits, because we have companies who are paying us 10K a year for less than that, for less than 1,000. Yeah, run their user restriction cadence and with Jerwin's team, and so probably the link building team as well. Need a lot of help with this. Run that multiple user restriction cadence, and we have a renewal cadence to send as well, which still trying to get the sales team to do. But yeah, that's it for me.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. Moving on to shoutouts. Don't forget to drop your shoutouts in chat. So shout out to Mark, Demi, and Alphonse for quickly updating the Chrome extension when LinkedIn changed their page. I've noticed that recently LinkedIn has changed a number of times, and I was in a conversation with a customer recently, and they asked me why does it keep changing? And I realized that in some ways it's actually good that LinkedIn changes their page from time to time, because there's plenty of extensions that aren't maintained, and it's a sign of like high quality engineering that we're able to update our extension so quickly to respond to LinkedIn changes, which means that people that may have been using old extensions that aren't up to date will then eventually have to find a new tool, and hopefully that's ContactOut. Shout out to Peter for so many things. Recently building out a feature to our API for a 100K customer. Shout out to Sai for working with a new customer on providing them 100 million records in a format that works for them. There's been quite a bit of back and forth, but that customer is worth 50K. Shout out to Joseph for tweaking our AI prompts to use significantly less tokens. Whilst it may seem minor, as our customers adopt more of our AI tools, it will help keep our costs down. Shout out to Greg and Mark for fixing a complicated issue with our work emails disappearing. This issue only exists because we have a lot more customers now using the system, and as a result, sometimes there's a delay between when someone sees the work email on the screen and when we finish the real-time checks. Shout out to Joshua and Hal for fixing for both the work email QA and identifying what those problems are and making progress on fixing them. Shout out to Zyman for the rapid bug fixes on email campaigns. And shout out to Ian and Mark for the great work on the search portal speed. Shout out to Christian. So these two are from the shout out channel for finding a way to get 9x higher positive response rates from link building partners and documenting your process very clearly. And shout out to Joan's team for running the ContactOut team's cadence with the sales team. More shout outs. Shout out to Albert for the 2023 recap. A shout out to Albert for shouting out the shout outs. Shout out to Albert for the intro, showing us everything that was built this year. That was nuts, very motivational. And thank you to the designers, PM, and engineers who built that. Shout out to Sai and Banchen for building and releasing the single recipient campaigns. Shout out to Azri for working on the complex task of editing active campaigns. Shout out to Zyman for knocking down tasks one after another at a super fast pace. A shout out to Joshua for getting on long calls with me for helping QA all the tasks that the team are working on. And shout out to Joseph for constantly helping with improving the prompts for AI prompt. A shout out to Banchen and Sai for quick learning front-end dev skills and finishing the tasks given to them after the company's restructure. Shout out to Joe and Christia for helping with the ad hoc SEO tasks. And shout out to Greg for being very strategic in picking up tasks to launch pages faster and pushing other tasks for later. And shout out to Albert for a nice yearly summary. And shout out to Muskan and Siren for the amazing designs and research done this year. So lots of love all around. And just a general reminder that we don't need to wait until all hands to give a shout out. You can drop it in the shout outs channel at any time. It goes a long way to tell your colleagues that you notice the work that they're doing. Since we do have a little bit of time, let's do a activity. Match your answer with a colleague, score yourself. The question was something memorable that you've received as a gift. Number 1, Chinese birthday noodles. Number 2, this person asked their wife and she said it was her. She's the gift. Number 3, this person was very upset when they lost their watch in Vietnam. One day, their partner surprised them by gifting them the same watch. Number 4, a water bottle from their wife, a reminder for them to drink more water. Number 5, not to be corny or anything, but honestly, the gift of life. Number 6, family game gift set from their daughter, Ashley. She loves giving gifts and cards. Number 7, this person received a pet dog. And number 8, this person's been looking forward to having a little one sometime this year, but instead of a baby, they had an angel. They considered this a difficult experience as a memorable gift received this year because they have learned to better appreciate and be grateful for the gift of life. So write down your answers. The possible people are Christia, Greg, Ian, Joe, and Joseph, Muskan, Mariah, and Sai. You guys ready for the answer? Long life noodle was Sai. The wife was Ian. Identical replacement watch was Muskan. Life was Mariah. Family game gift set was Greg. The dog was Joan, and the angel was Christia.
How about you forgot me, water bottle?
Joseph, yes, sorry. Joseph, water bottle, which was number 4.
Yes.
Yeah. How did you guys go? So she got 2. There's more shout outs as well. Shout out to Althea for amazing work on the virtual SDR campaigns in spite of several setbacks. Shout out to Iverson, Kylene, Clark, Thea, Jonah for the consistent work on building links for our Knowledge Hub pages. And shout out to Althea for all the difficulties she overcame. So Sushi got 2 points, Ian got 3 points, Rishi 1, Joan 2, Greg 2, Tanya 3, Joseph 3. So it looks like it's equal winners between Ian, Tanya, and Joseph. And that is a wrap for all.
As we wrap our journey through a year of groundbreaking achievement and set our sights for an even more dynamic future, remember, this is just the beginning. If you're inspired by a story and eager to carve out your own path in the entrepreneur world, there's more to explore. Click right here to dive into How to Start a Startup series, personally shared by our CEO, Rob. This playlist is packed with insight, strategy, and real-world advice to turn your vision into reality. Don't miss out on this treasure trove of knowledge. Your next big idea deserves the best start. Thank you for watching, and here's to another year of innovation, growth, and success. See you in the next video.